Welcome to the Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. Randy and Peggy Fisher want to help you retire once and retire right. Get more information at therealretireesofnewjersey.com. They never throw the first punch, but they're always a knockout.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. But most importantly, thanks for listening. This is the Real Retirees of New Jersey podcast with Peggy and Randy Fisher. It's all powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. You can get more when you visit therealretireesofnewjersey.com. You can find that and all the information here in the show notes. My name is Mark Owens. Now, let's get to the show. Peggy Fisher, Randy Fisher, when was the last time that y'all went to a wedding?
Just recently. A couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, we did, yep. Mm-hmm.
First or second marriage? Like, we're at the age now where we're going to much more second weddings.
Oh, that's interesting. No, this was a first. This was a young little marriage, too. Like, they were in their 20s, 23, 24. Two little whippersnappers, yeah. Family, friends, getting married, you know.
Really good friend of ours, he got married for the second time. And his best man gets up to make a speech, and he goes, "So as I was saying."
No, because he was in the first one. He was
the best man in the first one as well.
Well, that's nice. He's still the best man, right?
As I was saying.
You'll go to the third one, too.
Oh, my God. Did everybody start laughing?
Right, part 3.
Yes.
Yeah. There was a handful of like, oh, good God. And there was also people like, attaboy. Well done.
I wonder what the bride took a look and said. Jeez.
She laughed. It was fun. Listen, open bar changes everybody's attitude.
Oh, it sure does. Everything's funny. Then everything's funny.
It was a small enough wedding. The reason I ask is because I want to get your take on this. We're going to talk about fees here for a couple of minutes on the Real Retirees of New Jersey. There was an anonymous bride and groom that they caught some flack after sending out their wedding invitations, which included a fee. They charged $40 for adults and $20 for children to attend the wedding. Now, in their defense, the guests weren't required to bring a gift. But a lot of people reacted and said, oh, that's so tacky. Oh, how could you do that? Why are you charging us a fee? I kind of agree with them. Like, if you're telling me, we can drop $80 to come to the wedding, me and my wife, and not have to go to the registry and buy you china that you're never going to use, I don't hate that idea.
All right, I got one question first.
Yeah.
Where was this wedding? Where it was $40 for an adult and $20 for kids.
What state are you talking about? Because we're in New Jersey, and you could go to the Burger King. But I don't even think Burger King here, you're not getting.
I was thinking, man, I wrote a check the other day for a wedding, and it was a
hefty check. It was a hefty check.
Can I go back to that wedding? I'll write the $40 check.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a fee. It was a fee. But let me ask you. Okay, let's say it was $100 per person to attend.
I don't want to go anyway. So the answer is no. I just declined.
Yeah, but $100, you know what, though? But I'm the type of person, okay, but I'm going to help the nice young couple, or I love these people. I'm going to give them a gift. So it's not going to be $100. And if I got to pay a fee, I'm already like a little
not a fee,
annoyed. I'm annoyed.
But it's a present. I think they just worded it wrong because they said, hey,
present's my presents.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I showed up. I squeezed myself into a suit just for you.
Yeah.
Look at here. I'm here right now.
You see that one on the dance floor, you might want
I did 2 extra
a couple cocktails.
Shut your mouth.
A couple cocktails. It'd be fun.
Yeah, a little car. Let's go.
Get your car. I love it.
So let's talk about that for a second. Fees. Unexpected fees. Regardless if they agreed or didn't agree, a lot of the people attending this wedding were not happy about it because it was an unexpected fee. How often, Randy Fisher, Peggy Fisher, you do the portfolio x-ray, you do a deep dive into somebody's retirement strategies, you find fee after fee after fee. They weren't expected for all those fees that you find.
We find that every single time. I love it too, because when we always sit down with clients, we say, okay, we're going to do our x-ray portfolio, and they'll say, oh, no, I don't pay any fees in that. I'm like, okay, we're going to do our x-ray portfolio. When we see you again, we're going to take a look at those. And then it's the shock and awe. Like, what? I didn't realize that all these fees are coming out. And as Randy always says, he's like, do you think that those people are doing this because they love you? They have a red cross on their door, and they're going to hold your money, take care of your money, and they're not going to charge you a fee.
Or I have it in 401k. There's no fees.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. There's
right.
Not.
It's crazy.
Yep.
And
right.
But everybody, it's crazy, Mark, because tons of clients that come in the store all think the same way.
All a fee does is reduce your return.
Right.
Right. So it erodes the amount of yield that you're keeping. Let's be quite frank. If I had a 10% return and I had a 5% fee, I only made 5.
Right.
I could be in an account that's got a 5% interest rate with 0 fee, and I didn't take any risk, and we got the same return.
Yeah, it's true. And what we do is on that X-ray portfolio that you were talking about, when a client comes in, they'll bring us their statements. And what we do is we can put that in, like we'll take all their statements, put all that in, we can see every fee that they are being charged. So it is such a helpful thing. If you give us a call at 908-844-8337, we would love to give you that free X-ray portfolio. And that could definitely help us see all of your fees that you're paying into.
Well, it makes a difference,
yes.
Without a doubt, right? So,
100%.
it makes a huge difference. Also, take this into consideration, ladies and gentlemen. There's right ways and wrong ways to build income. But if you're thinking about this, let's say if I have $1 million portfolio and I want to remove 4% from the portfolio for annual income, because I want to kind of preserve it as long as I possibly can and go through some market ups and downs. So I'm being very modest. I'm saying I'm going to take $40,000 out of $1 million portfolio. If your advisor is getting paid 1% on that platform as well, right? So that really means that 5% is coming out of the portfolio, right? So just think about this for a second.
People don't think like that. They do not. They think, well, he just said 1%. It's just 1%.
But 5% is coming out. 4% that's coming to you, 1% that's going to the advisor. Now let's break this percentage down. I don't want anybody to crash their car because this is basic math. Okay, so if I have 1/5, that equals 20%. So what I just told you is that advisor's fee is essentially like 20% of your income. So the withdrawal is 5% out of the account, 1% goes to the advisor, 4% goes to you. He's keeping or she's keeping 20% of that withdrawal. Now think about this. What are they getting? What are they doing for you for the fee? Because a fee in absence of value is what? A fee.
That's right.
You don't get anything from it. It's simply a fee.
Yeah.
If I'm paying a fee for something, but I'm getting something in return, if I went to the store and bought something, I have an object, right? I have food, I have a car, I have something that I purchased. If you have a service in which you're offering, what are you getting for the fee you're paying for? What service are they supplying?
And that's what we talk about all the time with new clients that come in. We say to them, do you have an active advisor?
People are like, no, I really haven't heard from them.
I haven't heard from
them
in a year, or they'll maybe once a year. Have they talked to you about taxes? Nope. Have they talked to you about, what's going on in your life? Is something changing? Are we going over changes? Nope. Haven't heard from them. That's a big thing in our practice is that we actively manage the accounts.
Yeah. And that's called alpha, ladies and gentlemen. Alpha in the finance world means what are you getting for your money? If you have a high alpha and you have a large number on the alpha equation or the alpha summary, it means that you're getting a lot for the money which you're paying. Let's give an example. I have an advisor A and an advisor B. Advisor A puts me in the portfolio, sits there, does nothing, calls me once in a while, and it's every time the market goes up or down, it makes no difference. They're not calling me. I panic. I call the advisor, and what do they say?
Just let it sit.
Move.
Don't
leave
move.
it alone. Let it stay.
Yes.
It'll be okay.
Yep.
The other advisor, basically throughout the course of the year, every 3 months is on the phone with you or does a Zoom call or a face-to-face meeting, goes over a report card about where we've been, what we've done, how we've done it, what to expect in the next 3 months. Have there been any changes in your life?
Do we have a plan? What are we doing? What are we doing going forward?
All of the above, right? Now let's just think about this systematically. Who's actually doing work for you, A or B? The person who actually did your 3-month reviews and is reaching out to you over and over, or the person's just collecting a fee off of you just because they're under management?
Right. The guy who's definitely doing what he needs to be doing is called an active advisor.
We see this all the time.
Yes.
So the amount of money in which you could be paying for an active manager or an active management, someone who's going to have a larger relationship with you, know more about you, know how you tick, be proactive in the environment in which is going on.
Call you back when you call right away.
You can pay the same amount of money and get a better result and a more rich relationship than if you just sat with somebody that just once a year reaches out to you, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Or put you in an account and the only thing that they're there for is basically to keep your money there. Because let me be frank with you. The only thing that those money gatherers are worried about is you leaving.
Yeah.
Because if you leave,
they don't get
that's
paid.
when they'll get active.
Right. Yeah, they get active when you want.
Wait a minute.
Hey,
where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, I can do that for you. Well, you've been with me for 3 years, and now I bring this to you. Why didn't you do it over the last 3 years?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you shouldn't have to bring it to them. They should be talking to you.
You hear that all the time.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Absolutely.
So what's that phone number?
That phone number is 908-844-8337.
If you're still awake out there,
give us a call.
Peggy, maybe you just need to give your sultry voice like you
There
did
it is.
last
Here it
week.
comes.
Yeah. Here we go.
Give us a call, 908-844-8337.
Delilah's Financial Den.
We're open. We're open all hours.
We do have a representative standing by 24 hours a day. But okay, man, I won't talk to Peggy. No, it doesn't work like that.
There's no Randy. I want Peggy.
I don't know
It's for all those 55-year-old kids in their mother's basement right now listening.
Speaking of Randy, it's how I'm feeling right now. Let me talk to Peggy. 908-844-8337. Though, if you want to put faces to the voices that you hear every weekend, the real retirees of NewJersey.com. But in all seriousness, it's a portfolio x-ray from the team at Artemis Wealth Advisors. That's Randy. Liberty Financial Group, that's Peggy. It's a $2,500 value, but this weekend exclusive to our radio audience. It's no cost. It's no obligation to you when you call. One more time, 908-844-8337, the real retirees of NewJersey.com. It's estimated that over 4 million adults are going to reach the age of 65 this year. The big question is, you've probably been asked, can I retire this year? So what are some of those boxes you look to check off before giving the answer? If somebody says, I'm ready to clock out for the last time, can I do it? What's your first response?
Well, I think the biggest thing is do you have the desired income needs that you're going to need if you stop working? You know, that's the big thing. Can you, if you stop that paycheck, have other paychecks that can come in? And can you have the amount that you need to run your household on a monthly basis, basically, for the rest of your life?
It's a good point. I mean, without a doubt. Take all your income sources into consideration prior to retiring. What I feel is people, they have I want to do this, they do it, and then when they jump out of the frying pan and into the fire, they figure out that the heat's a little too hot for them.
Yeah.
Meaning that what they thought they were going to get from retirement is not exactly what they're getting from retirement. Meaning they thought that they can actually make ends meet. They thought that the amount of money that was coming in the door is going to basically be sufficient, right? You got to understand there are going to be some things that you're going to spend more on in retirement. There's going to be some things you're going to spend less on in retirement. But winging it is not a story that you need to go by, right? So let me give you a couple different examples here. Let's say you want to retire, and the first thing you're saying is, well, I'm just going to hit the Social Security button, and that's going to be enough for me. Is it?
Right.
Is it really going to be enough? Number one, did you do the calculations? Did you go to ssa.gov? Did you figure out that you can get more by waiting or by, extending out your deadline by 6 months or 1 month or 3 months or whatever it may be? Did you go back and check all your 40 quarters to make sure that they're all completed and filled in? Sometimes they're missing.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that all those calculations are in there. If you have a pension, is there an additional year in which there's a break point on that pension where if you worked one more year that your pension value changes or the formula changes? So there are a whole bunch of different variables that are within there. Now, retiring is retiring. We have so many people who walk through the door, they want to retire right now. But when you take a look at it and you take a real good long look at it, there's a good way to retire. We always say retire right. Retire right means you retire once because you don't have to retire again, right? You don't want to go back to work.
Retire once and retire right. That's absolutely it. And then what we will do with our clients, though, Mark, when they do come in and they do say that question, hey, can I? Mm-hmm. We have a whiteboard here. Randy will go, okay, if you don't think we can, let's go to the whiteboard and let's see
First, go through your expenses.
So we go through, we do that. Mm-hmm. Randy will get on the whiteboard. We'll estimate the monthly and annual expenses, housing, healthcare, travel, lifestyle costs. And it's funny, too, because when you do come up with that, miscellaneous. And when we say that, do you pay for streaming and cable and this and that? And the one, you got a couple, the wife will be like, no, I think it's only about $20 a month. And then the husband, vice versa, whatever, will say, yeah, what about, we have Hulu, we have HBO Max, we have this, we have that. And then when they break it all down, it comes out to $200 a month. That's a big difference between $40 a month, right? Especially in retirement. So we go through all of those little things, what are your groceries a month? What is your housing a month? And then the big one is, what is the healthcare a month? Can you, that's the big one. Do you have enough money for healthcare, basically?
Misexpensing, I guess if that's a real word, misexpensing.
Yeah.
But if misexpensing is really the thing that causes a lot of anxiety during retirement, well, essentially what that means is, people's regrets in retirement, they don't earn enough in retirement that they earn during the course of their earning years, right?
That's right.
So their lifestyle particularly changes. You know, you always hear people, well, I used to do that. I used to do this. We really enjoyed doing that. We really enjoyed doing this. And it really comes down to they thought they needed less than they actually did when they retired. So sometimes, you know, working more or working longer, that's the story. Maybe retiring, but then getting a part-time job in between to help, you know, have discretionary spending money.
Right.
All those little things help. Having a budget. People hate the word budget. I hate the word budget. Everybody hates the word budget. But you have to actually do this little exercise like Peggy just talked about.
Oh, it's so important in retirement.
It'll give you a base. And what that base is, it's, okay, that's my starting point. And then it's to say, do I need all of these things?
Right.
You know, which one of these things can I do without? How many people came in the door just this past week? They're like, I don't even have cable anymore. I just have streaming services, or we've done even away with that.
Yeah.
And we don't even turn the TV on. One guy had an analog.
He said he still had the
antenna on
He still had the antennas on his house. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? No HBO Max, no Hulu, no Netflix?
And these people got money.
Yeah, that's big time.
They got money.
They have a lot of money.
But they live within their means.
They haven't seen a show in color yet. But
they have not, but they're living in their means. And you know what's really funny too, though, about a couple like that we were just referring to, is they can retire, right? They do have the money, but both of them were like, but we're not done working yet. We still feel like we're good. We still feel like we're healthy.
But that's the change in retirement right now.
Yes, it is.
Because retirement's not sit and watch the sun go up and to sit and watch the sun go down anymore.
It's you're still active, right?
People get bored.
Yes,
they literally, people are now becoming bored.
Yes.
Is that part of the conversation that you have, though, is finding that next chapter, that purpose in retirement? Yeah, you're not working every day, but now what?
Well, you know what else it is too, and just like that couple Randy was just talking about who was just in, they have different ideas too. Totally. Like, he started out saying, oh, I want to travel the world. And she's like, I'm never getting on an airplane. So how are you traveling the world if you're never getting on an airplane? Do you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
like just totally different things.
They're married. Some of these people married 30, 40, 50 years.
At least, right? Yes.
They've been away from each other during the course of the day, 8 to 10 hours.
That's right.
When they wake up, they may see each other for a glance. They go to work. They come home. They may have a meal together. They sit, maybe fall asleep while they're watching television, or maybe not watching television if they don't have TV. But the fact of the matter is they go to bed. They wake up and they do the same thing again, right? So when it gets to the time where they retire and then they have to spend so much time collectively together again, it's almost like they either have to fall in love again or find something that they find in common. And most of them don't have anything in common anymore.
But that's my point. You know, one was saying, yeah, we're going to travel the world. The other one says, well, but I'm not getting on an airplane. So how are we traveling the world?
One wants to spend time with the grandkids.
Yes,
the other one's like, I'll see them on holidays.
Right. Exactly. We hear it all. It's so funny.
One's like, I want to go on vacation. The other one's like, I'm not getting on a plane.
Yeah, right.
One loves to gamble. The other one likes to put money in a coffee can.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Right? It really is.
So that's the other thing, ladies and gentlemen, is literally have a conversation either with yourself. I talk to myself all the time because Peggy doesn't listen to me.
That's true.
Or have a conversation with your spouse and say, listen, if we're going to hang this thing up and every day is going to be Saturday and Sunday.
Let's talk about what we're going to do every Saturday and Sunday.
Really, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Because jobs are one thing because they obviously earn you income. But what it also does is it creates a schedule for yourself, right? In some people, it's monotonous because it's the same thing over and over again. But it's that same person that actually worked in a place for 40 years. They finally retire, and you know what? 5 weeks later, they're dead.
Yeah.
Because their body changed, the biorhythms or anything else, and I'm not going to go into all that garbage.
Yeah.
But it's a change of environment. How many people do you know, they retired, and next thing you know, they're not here a year or two down the road?
That was my own father. My own father was in policing since he was 18 years old and did not want to retire. They basically had to throw him out, basically, because they had to. He 1 week later fell in a parking lot. And he always said he felt his health, something was going to happen if he started working. He had a stroke and a year later he passed away. I mean, it's amazing.
We have dozens
of people who think like that. Yes.
And dozens of stories.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the other reason why people are literally almost afraid to retire sometimes.
Yes.
Because they're saying, oh, something bad's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
If I retire, something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, well, retire, but go do something else.
Yeah.
Right.
But we always tell them when we're sitting across from them too, because I always see, like, I can see, like, we really like to travel. I'm like, go.
Yeah.
Go do it. I tell them, like, oh, I don't know. You think we should? You think we can? You think we have the money to do it? Yes, you have it. Go have fun. That's what you should be. I always say.
But why do they have those inhibitions? Because they're afraid of running out of money.
Yeah, because, and also too, those are the people who have saved every penny and who are frugal, who have just always saved and are very frugal with their money. And then they're saying, wait, like a vacation, that's
splurging.
That's splurging. Exactly. But in your retirement, that's what you saved for, to go have those good times. And then what's the other conversation with that, Rand? We talk about the go-go years, your 60s, slow-go years, the 70s.
It doesn't necessarily have to be your 60s.
Yeah, but I'm just saying kind of in general terms.
I feel like I'm in my no-go years right now.
No, you're not, Randy. When you're in your 80s, and it's getting a little up there, or whatever the case may be. But we talk about that, and that couple too is saying the same thing. While we're active and we still can, that's when we want to travel and go do these things. So it's all about too is how
and
active.
It's not just about traveling.
Yeah.
For instance, we have people that come in here and they say, well, the only thing I want to do is go spend time with my family or grandkids.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guess what? When you're going to go chase around Rugrats.
Yeah. You got to be active.
And you're in your 60s or 70s.
You got to be active.
You're going to be really exhausted, or you're going to be really sore the next day.
Yes. Well, that's what that couple said. She goes, oh, I'm so tired today. Because I offered her a cup of coffee. She goes, I need that coffee. I said, why? What'd you guys do? She goes, we had our 1 and 3-year-old grandchildren with us. And she's like,
around.
I am exhausted. And it was one night. I said, that's what happens.
It's like wrangling cats.
It's true. It really is. It is. It's definitely true.
All right, let me ask you this. 908-844-8337. You work with somebody, you put a plan together. They finally clock out. They're super excited. They get retired. They spent the first year traveling, playing golf, sipping Mai Tais at the beach, hanging out with the grandkids. 18 months later, they come back to you and they say, Randy, I'm bored. Does that happen?
Yeah, it does. Because they feel, number one, it's getting back to that whole working thing.
Yeah.
When you go to work, for the most part, other than the COVID years when people were working in their pajamas out of their house on Zoom.
Yeah, you feel like you have a purpose.
There's
You're
a
going
purpose,
somewhere.
right?
Absolutely.
And there's socialization.
Yeah, we hear that every day.
Right?
Correct.
So when you retire, it almost gets down to its social isolation. Isolation.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you are either by yourself, or you're with a limited number of people that you kind of see the same faces all the time, right? So it's almost like you get, I hate to say bored, but you kind of get bored doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's definitely a concern. It's, you have to have some type of a purpose. If not, you basically feel lost.
And we're not trying to downplay the whole aspect, but we're trying to get you prepared for it. That's the whole point of the conversation.
Absolutely.
Is that there's more to it.
A lot of our clients, too, will go to like a 55 and over community, right?
Yeah.
So for that kind of thing, too, it's nice because you know what? When you move like to somewhere like that, you have a whole new group of like a new network, a new set of friends, a new common group who does things like, hey, you're all retiring, you're all going into this community. And then like we hear them like, hey, like a couple months later, hey, how's it going? Like we have clients that just moved to Delaware and like a 55 and over. Oh my God, we have the best time. We go to different people's houses for dinner every night. We go play pickleball during the day. And it's so awesome because that's what they should be doing in retirement.
Yeah.
It's not the end.
Yeah.
Some people think retirement's the end, right? Retirement's not the end. Retirement is the new beginning.
Yeah, it sure is. We had another client too who her biggest thing is her whole entire time when she was saving for retirement is she wanted to go to what's that place? Oh, the Villages in Florida. And her whole time she's like, I just want to go to the Villages. So what does she do? She comes flying through our door one day. She goes, I did it. I'm like, what did you do? They want me, she goes. I go, who wants you? She goes, the Villages.
But now here's the problem.
Yeah.
You guys got to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, and we did. And she signed her contract and there she went happier. We hear from her. I'm like, how's it going? She's like, never happier.
Yep.
Happier,
Never.
right?
Never happier.
Do you know the history of the loofahs in the Villages?
No, what's that?
Okay, I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look it up because we're getting up.
Is that when you scrub off the STDs?
Nope, kind of close.
okay.
No, just do it. Just do a certain
loofahs.
Yeah, loofahs.
I'm going in.
I don't even want to know.
I do.
Just put
Every week
Villages?
you tell us we got to keep this thing clean, and
I
next
love
thing
it.
you know,
No,
you're
this
asking
is
us to
not
look
it.
up loofahs.
Only reason I'm telling you that is because we're running out of time. That's all. So just when you have a moment, you have your 2 assignments. Call the team at Liberty Financial Group at Artemis Wealth Advisors. Have a deep, warm conversation about when you can retire on your terms and finding the purpose in retirement to make sure you don't run out of money. That number is 908-844-8337. Again, 908-844-8337. Your other assignment is just to Google the Villages, Florida, and loofahs. I'll leave it at that.
Whoever's going to do that,
all doing it.
I want you to call me because I'm not doing it.
Call us and tell us.
At 908, what is it?
844-8337.
And tell us what the answer is.
Yes, we want to know.
All right. I'm just saying it's shocking, surprising, but awesome. The
It's
real
not shocking or
retirees,
surprising from you.
the real retirees of New Jersey.com to put faces to the voices that you hear every weekend.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisor services offered through Artemis Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Artemis Wealth Advisors is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Randolph A. Fisher, insurance license number 9616074, and Liberty Financial Group, LLC, and Peggy Fisher, national license number 189-42003 and 570-5833.